Hi, I'm Marlee Crankshaw, and I'm here today to talk to you about driving outcomes with a very innovative leadership model. The objectives today are to be able to evaluate your organization and how this model might work for you, and to assess this model to see if it's an actionable item for you to improve retention at your organization. At our Monroe Carroll Junior Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, we did a hospital-wide assessment to look at the ranges of direct report ratios between a manager and their direct reports. When we did our assessment, some managers had as little as 10 direct reports, while other managers had as many as 80 to 100 direct reports. And if you all remember, everything you've ever heard in your leadership role is that sometimes staff will leave due to middle management, not necessarily money and their workload, but how you recognize them as a staff member. So we wanted to do something about that, and we created a role called the Clinical Staff Leader, which is CSL. We proposed this role to be a 1.0 FTE, and in this new role, they do 2 8-hour days of administrative work in an office setting. They do 2 12-hour days of charge nurse or bedside staffing. It's an exempt position, so they create their schedule. They only do 1 weekend every 6 weeks, so it's a Monday through Friday. They choose which days they're going to work or which evenings. And classes and training we felt were a must. We were one of the few units that went live at the beginning, and we wanted to make sure that those classes and training were the same for everyone, not just for our particular unit, but so they were embedded. So at the beginning of their orientation in this new position, you might not have a class for a week, and then you might have a couple of days of classes. So it's embedded throughout their whole training program. So based on the number of FTEs and the number of staff and what type of unit you have, the CSLs were hired in October of 2012. Our NICU newborn was one of the first units, as I've said, and we interviewed and hired 12 CSLs, 6 on days and 6 on nights. And our newborn interviewed and hired 2 CSLs, 1 day and 1 night. The structure that we currently have in place is we have a unit manager assigned to a CSL, and those CSLs have a staff cohort underneath them. So on day shift, we assign 20 to 25 staff members to each CSL, and on night shift, we assign 15 to 20 staff members to each CSL. We staggered them differently on days versus nights to make way for the new hires that would be coming in. And of course, they usually come in on night shift. So that's the difference. But we try to go no more than 20 to 25 per CSL. This CSL model has greatly improved our retention and our engagement scores with our staff. So I invite you to download and look at the entire presentation to see if this might work for your organization. Thank you very much for listening.